Sometimes an easy way to get a good idea for how popular something is simply just looking at the numbers. So let's do that. In this case, we're going to look at the number of hashtags used on TikTok. Here are the numbers used under atheism. And now here are the numbers used for Christianity. I think the numbers speak for themselves. So I need to make a quick little correction here because I just realized as I was sitting here editing this that I had made a mistake. I had accidentally spelled atheism with an IE instead of an EI. So those aren't the most accurate results because that is a typo. Let's see how much of a difference it makes when we spell it right. Well, surprisingly, it barely made a difference, but there you go. Now, of course, you can say that not every atheist is going to go around telling everyone they're atheists. They're not going to, like the whole point of atheism is that you don't care, that you don't believe there's anything, that there's no bigger, higher purpose, no higher being, that we're nothing in the end or whatever. So often they're probably like, they don't even care to like go around telling their people they're atheists and like putting hashtag atheist. Like that's more just people that are like so like hardcore, like, oh, I gotta prove Christianity wrong, I gotta like tell everyone that I hate God, or I don't know. I don't understand how they think. I don't think they even understand how they think. It's all spiritual, it's all crazy. I don't know. But now, of course, with these numbers, it's not a perfect example. Like, obviously, not every atheist and every Christian is on TikTok. And of course, they're not all using hashtags. And I mean, I'm no expert, but I think if everyone was on TikTok, like everyone in the world, obviously there would be a higher number for atheists. But I feel pretty confident in saying that I believe the number for Christians would absolutely skyrocket. I think for many of us, one of the first examples of an example of a Christian person would be the elderly. So many of us have or have had grandparents or great grandparents that are like hardcore Christians. I feel like it's pretty rare to hear someone say, like, oh, they have a grandparent that's like super against God, super atheist or anything. And of course, for many people in the world, the only Christian people in their lives are their grandparents or, great grandparents. And that should really make you think. That should really show you just how much the world has changed and how much the world has turned from God. With each generation, there's just less and less people following God. And I think a major element as to why that is just technology is just so much more prevalent now. And that's all we focus on. And when we lose focus on God, and put our attention to anything else, like we're just too distracted. With each generation, we're just more and more distracted with stuff, and the further and further away from God we get. And not to mention schools going further and further away from God. Like, let's stop calling them secular and just call them what they are, anti-God. If your school is teaching your children that we came from monkeys and all this other nonsense, it's no wonder they're so far from God. That's all they're being taught. My school still has the original paintings that were on the walls of churches from our town and families gathered around reading the Bible together and praying. We have gone so far from that. This isn't even a Christian school. That just used to be so normal back then. Nowadays, I don't think you can even bring a Bible into school. Like, I remember getting some comments when I wore Christian shirts back in high school. Like, oh, you're not supposed to wear that in here, stuff like that. It's crazy. You know the crowd I'm talking about. The ones that would be much more likely to be found at a Wendy's than a Starbucks. No disrespect to anyone that goes to Wendy's. I love Wendy's. But at least for me, that's the restaurant I've seen Christians the most frequently at. The most people who aren't ashamed to actively pray in public before they start eating. There's definitely younger people that go there too. I go there, but what I'm trying to get at is, in general, most of those people are from a generation that don't know social media. So of course they wouldn't be included in these numbers here on TikTok. Obviously, TikTok is mostly filled with young people, and a lot of the younger generations, as I was saying, don't know God. Although, even saying that, in these last days, many young people have been genuinely, deeply seeking something greater. They've been seeking God and finding God. If you're someone who personally feels like they can't go to God, that they can't find Him, you don't think He'll hear you, but you haven't even tried, well, you may not think your painting will turn out well, but you'll never know if you never pick up a brush. And thankfully for us, God doesn't even require us to be master artists, because He is the master artist. Isn't that awesome? You can go to God and you can know God. He says that if you seek me with your whole heart, He promises us that we'll find Him. We will find Him. The problem with so many people in the world right now is that they're not finding God because they're not really genuine with it. They're like, I tried finding God and He wasn't there, He didn't answer. They were not genuine. Every single one of them were not genuine. I promise you that. I don't have to know them personally to know that. It's in the Bible. It is written. God says you have to be 100% genuine. You have to want to know Him. You have to desire to seek Him. If you do that, if you go searching for Him, if you cry out to Him and just pray for Him to show Himself to you, and you desire to know Him, you try opening a Bible and you ask God to help you understand it, He can do that. God will do that. God will help you. God will help you know Him. You will be drawn to Him if you want to be drawn to Him. You have to want to know God. You have to desire to know Him. You have to try. Believe me, you have to try. If you're just sitting around and going, God's not real, He didn't answer my prayers, well, it's no wonder. There's no faith there. You're not having faith. You're like, oh, but I tried for many years. You never put your whole heart into it. I promise you, there was at least a part of you somewhere even deep down inside where you're like, God's not going to answer this. He's not real. He's not real. See? Look, He didn't answer it. He didn't answer it. Ha, you're not real, God. You Christians are fools. It's no wonder your prayers aren't being answered, because clearly you're not being genuine. You have to genuinely be humble and open your heart and genuinely seek God, and you will find Him. I hope this blessed someone. God bless you guys. Peace.